I think she did it. I think she did it. Who knows if I really did? But guys, welcome back to Live at the Roxy. We're just getting so tech fancy here. And maybe the reason we're doing that is because I'm trying to impress my dear friend, DJ Wooldridge in the house.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. Are you impressed?
I am very impressed. Did it do, because you gave me a brief synopsis, but did everything do what you wanted it to do?
So I think the answer to that is I don't know, because it looked good from my end. Here's what happened. So friend of the show, Jake Iacovetta, who is awesome and made that little video and is doing thumbnails and stuff for me. He told me that sometimes when I go live, they miss the start of whatever I'm saying because it says I'm live on my end, but there can be like a 10-second lag. So that a video is a good way to make sure that everybody hears all the things. Got it. I did. And also I think it's cool. And he found that song and it makes me like really jig. So I guess they'll let us, you guys tell us, did it do what I thought that it hoped that it might, or did it know? And also like, could they hear it? Also, how, I don't know like what level that audio was. You know me, DJ, I'm the sound mixer.
You are do you have the soundboard with you?
Wow, that was my response. I mean,
so this is your show. I don't want to interrupt, but I did want to ask you, have you watched any of the shows since we stopped doing Super TV?
It's a great question. I was going to ask you similarly. So first of all, also when you're on, it's not my show, it's our show. Let's put your name right next to it. Live at the Roxy J.
By the way, Live at the Roxy is a fantastic name.
Thank you so much. Okay, so have I watched any of the shows? We're talking about all the CW DC TV shows because on Only Stupid Answers, we did Super TV Showdown. We stopped the show with the Arrow finale. And since then...
Kind of being pressing with all the COVID stuff that's happened since
I know. Here's what I've watched. I've watched Harley Quinn, the animated series. I've only seen a few episodes of the second season, but I dig that show. And so I watched that without having to do any coverage and love it. Yeah. I watched a couple episodes of The Flash in which Iris is like trapped in a mirror dimension. Have you seen any of this?
I've heard. I've actually not watched anything.
Nothing. You've watched not one thing.
Watched nothing.
Wait, is Legends on right now?
Yeah, apparently.
All right, I think what I did was, so when did we stop? Was it January?
Yeah, I think end of January, beginning of February.
So I think I watched for maybe a couple of episodes. I know I'm behind on absolutely everything. I'm not caught up on anything, which is the first time in 8 years I have not been caught up on DC TV.
It's kind of freeing though, right?
It is and it isn't, because I'm starting to feel incredibly stressed about it. The fact that I feel stressed that if I ever want to catch up, it's going to be I'm incredibly screwed because there's no way when you miss 1 week, you miss 7 hours of TV.
Yes.
It's 7 hours. So now what? I'm behind 2 months. It's not a good look.
Yeah, I saw that I saw a post that I guess Batwoman did Hush, and the design of Hush looked pretty cool. I'm like, oh, cool.
Wait, Batwoman did Hush?
Yeah, apparently they apparently Hush showed up or is going to show up. I don't know. I just saw some images, and then I'll see like reviews pop up for the newest Legends. I'm like, oh man, I liked Legends. And it's not like I'm trying to avoid it. I just don't watch it.
I know. I feel similarly. Wow, I had no idea this was the case. Matthew Gold just said the Flash finale was good last night, considering there was a Flash finale last night.
I was hearing stuff. Apparently, I think the same thing happened to Riverdale, that they were in the middle of producing the last few episodes when all this happened. So an episode that was not meant to be the finale became the finale.
So really, it's just the last episode of the season. It's
Yeah,
not the finale. It's just
that
like
is my understanding.
and that sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks. I want to support these shows and I still like them. And I really was liking Batwoman. That's one that I do want to, but I don't know. I stuck with Flash. Iris was in this mirror place. I was like, I don't know. And then when COVID happened, I was like, I'm only watching things that make me hysterically laugh. So that's not the CWDC shows, but it is Harley Quinn.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
is probably why I stuck with that. Yeah. Where are you on it?
We're caught up. In fact, we're probably an episode ahead of where everybody else is. Cause like you, we've got the screeners. And so we do coverage of that on the youtube.com/answers. So we're up to date on that. And it's still really good. It's interesting because it's not, I think overall we enjoyed season 1 more. But the hook for season 2 is really interesting. And the most recent episode that's coming up is very Bane centric. And
I love him.
Bane is so funny on the show that it's super rewarding. And then there's more Batgirl stuff. And I like what they're doing with Batgirl this season. So it's just overall, like you said, it's just a really, it's a light in the dark.
What are you guys doing on OSA right now?
So we're still doing our weekly podcast and trying to figure out, since there's like no new movies or shows or anything, like week to week, what we're going to talk about.
What does that usually end up looking like?
It ends up looking like a text from Samurai on Sam to me or me to Sam. It's like, hey, what are we going to talk about this week? And then we talk about, so the last 2 episodes we did was like a Marvel versus DC thing, because there's been talk about like, how's the comics industry going to bounce back from this, and something that's been suggested is maybe Marvel and DC do a crossover. So we did 2 episodes on that.
I love that suggestion so much. I want that so bad. It'd
be amazing. It'd be incredible. And I don't know what we're talking about this week. We'll see.
What do you think the chances are?
At this point, I don't even know. Actually, the comic shop I like to go to, House of Secrets, just started doing curbside pickup for comics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so they're starting, and so this is the first time I'm going to the comic shop in 2 months. And I had
what do you do? You order in advance?
Yeah. So the way I do it, because I'm a nerd, is I like 2 months out, because of the way Diamond, the company that ships comics out from the publishers to the comic shops, likes people to like order 2 months in advance, and because it makes my comic shop's life easier, I do that.
Well, so, if you know you're going to get them, then why not?
Yeah. So I place my orders however many months out. So, and I had to email them today. So, because we're doing the curbside pickup, I'm like, at this point, what is even in my folder? Because I don't know what shipped, what hasn't shipped. Like, I just don't know about any of it. So,
and did they respond yet?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna, so I know what's in there, and it's all good stuff. I have taste that I like, surprisingly. And I guess more comics are going to start shipping at the end of May. So I don't know. It's wild. But as far as the Marvel versus DC thing, it depends on how rough things get. My understanding is that DC's always been more amenable to making it happen than Marvel is.
Yeah.
Probably because of the Disney of it. And so we'll see how desperate they feel. I guess it depends on the next few months how many people start going to the comic shop again or buying online.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, loving this comment. Wonder why we've never done anything with this. Samurai.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it when you said that. That's so good. He needs a samurai nickname. Although I will say, of the 2 of you guys, and don't tell him I said this.
Okay. This is between us.
This is between me and you and nobody else. Shh. You're the samurai. He's not the samurai. I don't mean it meanly. Just you're the samurai.
Thank you. That means a lot to me.
I mean, I think that it would be pretty, if you polled 100 people, I think 99 of them would agree with me.
Well, I love samurai movies, so I really appreciate that.
Just can't picture Sam or I.
Yes.
Samurai. No, it's just not. It's
guarantee he's a faster swimmer than me, though. Can guarantee it.
Is that true? Is he a swimmer?
I used to, from what I understand, he used to like swim in high school, and I like too many things when I was young. I was taught how to do it, and then I was like, cool, I'm not going to do that anymore. Swimming and riding a bike. I got taught how to do it, and I was like, cool, I know. And then I just stopped, which means I can't possibly be any good at it.
Wait, do you know that I don't know how to ride a bike?
Nice. Once you learn how to drive a car, why?
I just want you to be aware of the fact that you're the first person who's ever said to me, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know how to ride a bike. Everybody, it's like when I tell people I don't eat cheese or I don't know how to ride a bike, I mean, I have to be prepared for a 30-minute follow-up. You don't know how to ride a bike? Nice. You don't know how? Why didn't you learn? What happened with your parents? Like, it goes so on. And like, bitch, no, I don't know how to ride a bike. I just didn't do it. And now I'm scared because people get hurt. And like, I don't want to be that person who's 30 years old trying to learn to ride a bike and getting hit by I'm going to hit a kid or something in my little bike.
Especially out here, it's wild. I had a buddy that rode a bike to work and stuff, and it's very dicey. But also, you're probably similar to me, where it's like if it's far, I'll drive, and if it's close, I'll walk. In what situation do I need the bike?
I don't know the answer to that. don't know the answer to that. And if somebody can answer that for me, maybe I'll learn.
Yeah.
But people are like, you can do it on the beach, and I'm like, I love to walk on the beach. Why do I want to ride my bike on the beach?
Yeah. Why bikes?
Where am I trying to go?
Yeah.
And actually, I find the people who ride their bikes on the beach path, wow, that's hard. Beach path.
Yeah.
I said it.
Yeah.
They're rather annoying. They are very aggressive, and I'm just trying to stroll on the beach, and they are with their little bike horns.
So this is how dumb I am. You said riding a bike on the beach, and I immediately, my brain went to like a bike in the sand by the water. I'm like, how do you even have the leg muscles to make that? And you said beach path. I'm like, oh yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
There's a thing called a beach bike but it's not for the beach. That's confusing. Shitty branding. Rename your bike. I have a friend who bought a bike recently, and I was unaware. His bike cost him $700.
Oh my God.
Are you fucking kidding?
That's gnarly.
And he was like, oh no, this is like how much bikes cost.
What?
And I was like, that can't be a true statement.
Yeah.
Like that's just not a motorcycle, not like that is a bicycle. Bicycle.
I will say in the defense of bikes, if you wanted to do like mountain biking, if that was like an interest of yours, getting a bike makes sense to me, or any of those situations. But I'll hike. I don't need any of that.
I don't want to do that.
Nothing against bikes. I do, not to drop the ball, but I am curious. You said you don't eat cheese. Is it you just don't like it, or it's bad for you?
No, I hate the taste.
Interesting. Is it taste or texture?
It's the taste.
Interesting.
Texture's cool.
Yeah.
Taste is not. It tastes to me like something's gone rotten.
Okay.
Like I cannot distinguish that from when like mold. The way it tastes. I think that must be how people feel about cilantro that don't like cilantro. And it tastes like soap to them. I feel like I have a gene inside me that makes it so that cheese tastes spoiled.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably in the long run for you, but I will say I'm a big fan of cheese. So in my heart, I feel like you're missing out. But I do understand.
It is good in the long run in terms of my health, but I will tell you, DJ, that people, and I feel like especially recently, I don't know what happened starting like 2016 and on, cheese is the same as salt and pepper to people. They don't put it on the menu that it's in something. It's just in it. So many times I'll order something and it comes with Parmesan. But you can't just add cheese to something. It's not salt and pepper. Like you have to say that there's cheese in something. Many people are allergic. And what's happened is because I don't eat it at all, is when I do eat it, first of all, I almost immediately know that I'm eating it because I hate the taste. But I get very sick because my body is not used to processing it.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't eat it, and your body's not supposed. I don't really eat much dairy, and I never eat cheese. So when my body has it, it's like, cannot compute. So now I've like developed an allergy to it, even though I just hate it in general.
So what do you do? Do you not do pizza?
I love pizza with no cheese.
Interesting.
I love it. I'll put on barbecue chicken or veggies, sauce, bread. And I don't know if that's technically pizza anymore because I know there's a name. If there's no sauce, I know people call it a white pizza.
Yeah.
But I'm a red pizza.
Okay. Well, I thought I thought, and I literally have no basis for this other than something I thought I heard sometime. I think the actual the way Italians make pizza is very light on cheese. And it's
No,
us
but you see
Americans
that.
who like to drown it in cheese.
You see that in Italian pizza that's got the sauce, and then
Yeah.
it looks like a Dalmatian with
Yeah, yeah,
cheese.
yeah.
Like it's almost like just little mozzarella. It was the most American I've ever sounded, probably, actually. They put mozzarella just sprinkled around on it.
Yeah.
I like that because then I can just take the cheese off. It's very easily rip offable.
Got it.
Because I'm not psychotic. Like if cheese touched it, and I am psychotic, but not about this. I can still eat it, but I have to take it off because I hate the way it tastes and it makes me very sick. We're not here to talk about me, though. How'd you do that?
How'd I do what?
You made it all about me.
I'm a very curious person.
I know, me too. That's my problem. Anytime I go on anybody's show, I can't help it. I have so many questions.
Yeah.
I'm just very curious about. There's nothing that people say that doesn't make me have a follow-up question. Very curious person. But the people in the chat and the Streamlabs and the Patreon are curious people too, and they've got some questions for you. So I want to get to a few of these. Starting in the Patreon, let's go with Weston Ira. I like this question. I wonder if you have an answer to it, DJ.
Okay.
He says, DJ, what do you think the you of 5 years ago would say to the you of right now?
Oh, damn. What would the me of 5 years ago?
It would be very confused about why you're staying home so much.
Yeah, why are you staying home so much? And all probably be like, you haven't done more? Like you're still struggling to do the same things? I actually just over this, I don't know about you, Roxy, what you've been working on during quarantine, but I've spent a lot of time working on a script that's been kind of on the back burner for me. I've wanted to do some stuff with it. And so I used
this. Is it a script I've read?
It is not a script you've read. And so I went to, I literally just today finished a pass on it. So I went to register it with the WGA, and I looked at my old documents because I save all that stuff. And the last time I registered the other draft for it was 4 years ago. So
that is such a tough feeling. I do that too. And it's like when I actually think about projects that I've been working on for over 4 or 5 years, it's like, wow. Yeah.
So the past me would be like, wait, you're still working on that? And I'll be like, hey, can I curse on the show?
Yeah. Hey, motherfucker.
Hey, son of a bitch. This is hard. Okay, man.
It's so hard.
It's not on me, that's on you. This is going to be you 5 years from now.
Yeah, I think that I just have learned I have to be easy on myself because it doesn't help to sit here and think about all the things that I thought I would have accomplished at this point. I mean, for sure that 14-year-old Roxy was like positive at this point. I was so rich. I had won all of the awards.
Yeah.
I was like a household name. I was creating everything I wanted, superstar. So as you get older, it's just not how it goes sometimes. 5 years ago, what did you think was going to be today?
I think always 5 years ago. So where
were you 5 years ago? Was that SourceFed?
I think I was still, it would have still been SourceFed because we've only been doing OSA for 4 years. So that would have been still at SourceFed. I think like then, things were so busy at SourceFed, I didn't have a lot of time. You're busy with your day to day. It wasn't until after SourceFed that I kind of kicked into high gear to try and get stuff. I guess there's a feeling that things will happen. Not that you're not working on it, but this is such a weird industry. You have to create a path for yourself. And so maybe there was a part of me that was kind of hoping as I worked on stuff like a path would materialize.
Yeah. I totally hear you on that.
Latch on to and try and take advantage of. And weirdly, the YouTube space is not the most conducive to careers in Hollywood. Give or take a Bo Burnham or whatever. So 5, damn. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be. In some way, I think in some ways I would view myself the way I view myself now. In some ways, it's like, oh man, you're doing pretty all right. In other ways, it's like, I wish this was different.
Yeah, because it is. you've had so much growth since that point.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I'll ever, and I wonder if you're the same way, feel satisfied. Which I
Good
think that's a
question.
shitty thing for me to say, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, you'd like to think that because you're like, well, just once I've accomplished these things, but maybe that's okay. Maybe it's finding the balance because you want to be in a position where you continue to push yourself to do better, to be
Right.
better, to keep striving. But I would like to feel a little less pressure. It'd be really cool to get to a place where people are paying me to do the things that I'm doing now for free,
Mhm.
and so I don't have to um, like I was nose to the grindstone on this script for 2 months and it was all self-inflicted. There's no deadline except the deadline I put on myself.
Yeah,
And it's
and
like
that deadline feels real, though.
yeah, like this. By the time this quarantine lifts, I want to have a pass on the script done and everything. And then I had that sinking feeling. I was just finishing it up, and I was like, "Oh, what if this sucks? What if nobody likes it?
It's the
What if
worst
I wait for
feeling.
2 months?" Um, It'll be more interesting to see, I think, where I'm at in the next 5 years. 5 years from now.
It's gonna be interesting to see where the planet's at in the next 5
Yeah.
years. I
You
guess
say it like that, it becomes a scarier proposition.
yeah. Oh my god. How are you feeling about this 3 month situation?
Is that continuing through
Yeah,
the
this
I
possible 3 months through July, starting
yeah.
August time.
I didn't know about the July thing until you sent me that email. I was like, "What, July?"
No
Um,
way. I'm
uh,
sorry.
so then I looked it up. No, thank you. I looked it up and it's weird. It's completely, I think it's a good thing, whatever we need to do. And I feel lucky. I don't know about you, Roxy, but I feel lucky that we're in California because it feels like they're actually doing things to, you
Definitely,
know what I mean? Like
definitely.
as
I mean,
much,
if I was in Florida, I'd be livid right now. I'm
yeah,
sure you too. It's not.
yeah. It's so I'm glad we live in a state where as much as you can, they're actually trying to accomplish things to make us safer. As somebody who, I was in the middle of working on projects and trying to like put together like a crowdfunding campaign for a project and all that stuff. And now everything is like, I don't know when or if ever I will be able to do that.
Right.
Everything that's going on. And the shitty thing is that's entirely like, who cares? That's only me.
Mhm.
It's entirely selfish.
I think
Um,
everybody has one of those right now where it's like, I'm putting this on the back burner, but is the back burner actually a dumpster that's 15 miles away that I just
yeah.
threw it out in? And it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's like a hard realization.
In the long run, whatever keeps people safe and whatever, um, you know, uh, yeah, I guess keeps people safe, and hopefully we'll be able to start doing things again. I hope, I hope the country starts because the frustrating thing I think is what it feels like is we're all just waiting and nothing is happening. It's like, but there's things
Right.
that the government could be doing to make this wait actually matter.
Well, you have a unique perspective on it because of your personal life, because of your partner. And I wonder how are you feeling? What are hospitals looking like right now? Do you think that, I mean, the flattening of the curve, I feel like it's a phrase that I never want to hear again, but how do you feel like things are actually going?
Well, what for those that don't know what Roxy's talking about is that my wife works as a nurse, and I think it depends on where you're at. I think again, we're lucky we're not in New York in this particular instance for a variety of reasons. I think a lot because there's so many. California is so spread out,
Mhm.
and New York is so packed in, which has probably led to some of the issues that they're dealing with, and why we're not dealing with that as much. But yeah, it's led to some weird conversations about, she sometimes gets floated to the ICU and trying to figure out whether we should quarantine each other from each other while she does that. But the logistics of it are challenging. And think, I think where we're at now, like it's just us. So it's like, as long as she's
Right.
able to take the precautions she needs to, we'll just roll through as business as usual. And
And
I
I
guess
feel like we've heard different things about masks, gloves, situations
No.
like that. But how are they looking? How is she doing with all of the stuff she needs?
As far as I know, they're doing okay. There's certainly more things they would like to have, but it's not like they're wearing trash bags or whatever, on their end, which is good. Yeah, I think we kind of lucked out on this coast. So
Yeah.
far, fingers crossed. Because who knows, what happens from here. But
How many times in quarantine do you feel like you've said "who knows"? Because I feel like that's my catchphrase right now.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, right? Is every time I talk to somebody, the frustrating aspect is the uncertainty. I know for me in particular, I like to. It's weird because on the one hand, I already prior to this, I already worked from home. I already cut my own hair. I already like my day-to-day life actually hasn't changed that much.
You cut your own hair?
I cut my because it's not rocket science. There's not a lot because it's either this or it froze out there. I don't have options really. It's not a complicated endeavor. So I've been doing it myself since I moved out here. So it's like my day to day hasn't changed that much, but like I'm a person that likes to plan ahead and figure stuff out. And this does not allow for that. There's so much.
No, not at all.
Yeah, not at all. And there's so much outside of our control. That's challenging. That's a challenging of it. Like you said, the uncertainty of literally everything. The uncertainty of the elections at the end of the year, the uncertainty of when we can just, go to the store without feeling like it's a minefield. Any of that stuff. The uncertainty is the challenging part for me.
Well, even hearing you say it and thinking about this until possibly August, it's like, okay, buckle up. Let's get to some of these super chats. What?
I want to go to our screenings again. I miss.
I know.
The
I miss that too.
movie I saw in the theater was Bloodshot.
Me too. Me too.
That movie sucked.
It didn't suck for me. It sucks that that's the last movie we saw in the theaters.
Damn, I wish the last movie I'd seen was Invisible Man. That
was good. That was a great one.
Yeah.
Morse goes that I have a friend who hates all cheese except pizza, which he claims the result is no longer cheese. Maybe it is vegetable like the FDA says. What?
Maybe for it's less taste for them and more texture. And so once it's cooked in the pizza, they don't have to deal with the texture.
Does the FDA say that pizza is a vegetable?
I doubt that.
That would be
because
of the tomatoes?
Yeah, that seems like a stretch to me.
Morse, give us more. We need more on that.
Give us more.
Give us more. Spumkus says, was here. Just letting us know. Glad that you were here. Happy about that. Matthew W says, Batwoman might be my fave CW show on right now. Unlike Supergirl, stuff happens. Supergirl just seems like it's going through the motions. Can I tell you why I paused in the middle of that for a second and what just happened to me?
Because the act instead of actually?
That too, but I kicked my chair and I thought I kicked you.
Oh,
it was the weird.
Thankfully, you didn't.
I was like thinking about saying so. I was like, oh, and then
sorry, no,
and then you're
all good.
We are dozens of miles from each other right now. Yes. That was such a weird. I'm looking at you. I kicked you. It wasn't you.
I get it. I get why the brain would go there. That makes sense to me.
That was the strangest feeling. Oh my God. Danny Boy says, check out DJ's Comics Chaos Theory. Heart you, Roxy. Danny Boy, I love when you pimp our stuff out. Gotta love that.
He's a good Danny Boy.
Wait, is it good Danny Boy? Oh, I haven't heard boy in a while. Let's get back into the Patreon, patreon.com/Roxy Stryer. Glenn Caesar, who has a few questions for you today, DJ here and the Streamlabs. But the first thing he said was, hello, Roxy and DJ. Happy Wednesday. It's great to have you on live at the Roxy. Thanks for joining Roxy and virtually hanging out with us today, DJ. Glad to have you as a member of the Rockstars band. # Super TV Showdown. This question is for both of you.
Okay.
If you could time travel back to visit any time and place in history without fear of accidentally changing history a la butterfly effect, where would you go and what would you do? Again, not including going back with the intention of doing something on purpose, specifically to change history, etc., because I'm sure we could all come up with that type of answer.
Yeah, there's some recent history I wouldn't mind changing.
Yeah.
I can think of a few things.
Okay, so what do you think?
This one's actually you've asked this at the one time. This is actually easy for me to answer because a buddy of mine and I, we used to like hang out once a week, and now we can't.
This is your BFF that you play disc
golf. Yeah, we
golf.
play disc golf and everything, and so we can't do any of that. But we started playing Red Dead Online together, which has been very fun. And we've determined that we would have made really great outlaws / cowboys back in the day. So if I could go back in time, I also rewatched the Back to the Future trilogy. And so if I could go back to the Wild West time, I know, like intellectually, I know it would blow, but like in my heart, I feel like I'd be home. I feel like it'd be a good place for me. I feel like I could do all right there.
I feel torn with this question.
Okay.
I mean, I feel torn. My heart and soul, like I love the 70s.
Mhm.
But I love disco, but there's so many times and places. I mean, and I'm not allowed to try to do anything to change anything.
Yeah, you can't change anything.
So I'm just there chilling.
So what about the 70s for you? Is it the music? Is it the vibe?
Yeah. I think as like a cannabis lover and supporter and
Fair.
hippie times and clothes and the vibe, the music, and just think it's an interesting time to be alive.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it more, Glenn, but that's where my heart is right now. I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
Like,
keep you posted.
Keep you posted, very important.
The 70s is a lot less of a dangerous time than the one I chose.
Yeah, it's true. Like peace, love, the 60s too. I mean, there's some cool times.
Yeah, 60s, 70s, you had to deal with Nam. That wasn't great.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah.
That's not ideal, but let's be honest, if I'm just going back to visit, I'm not really dealing with Nam.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true. Yeah. You're just on vacation.
Yeah. I'm just hanging out. Okay. Weston says, what's something that should be a sport, but isn't? Any thoughts, DJ?
What's not a sport? Because I've been rewatching Community, and there's an episode early on where Jeff plays pool, and they talk about it being a sport, and it got me thinking about like, so what constitutes a sport?
Yeah,
I'm not breaking a sweat, clearly.
No, wait. This is a really stupid question that I don't know the answer to. This is really stupid.
Okay.
I don't want to ask it anymore.
Well, you don't have to. It's your show.
Should I Google it instead?
It's up to you. It's your show. You can do whatever you want.
I'm just going to ask it, and then you guys are going to not judge me because love, and we're in the 70s. Is chess a sport?
No, I don't believe it is considered a sport.
Was that a really bad question?
I don't think so. I mean, again, if pool's a sport, you know what I mean? If pool's a sport, like again, there is a physical aspect to pool in that you move around the table. But like, I think that's the question: is what when you talk about what shouldn't be a sport? Well, what is? Because there's the obvious ones: soccer, football, baseball. You know what I mean? Stuff that
hockey, basketball, lacrosse, like the things. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, what
about like? I don't know. There should be some kind of a singing sport, like a karaoke sport.
Yeah, where you're trying to like get the ball in the net while hitting the high note.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that if DJ and I could right here, right now, create something that should be a sport, we'd probably be rolling in it. Like if we were like, yeah, this is the sport. This
is the sport that everybody should get in on. We need to create a quarantine sport, clearly.
Wait, is this true? Tom King says Texas Hold'em is a sport.
It can't be. It can be competitive.
And then like, Gregory says street chess. What is street chess?
Maybe when people are on the street, I don't know.
Huh.
They're people make the chess pieces.
Garth says chess, poker, and even Scrabble are actually classified as sports. But by who? By who and what?
And so then esports are in that case they would have to not just be esports, they'd be sports.
Be sports.
They would be sports.
Be sports. Folding laundry, pretty good suggestion.
Yeah, if I could get
I
other people to fold my laundry as a sport, that'd be great.
I often sweat while doing it.
Yes.
So wait, Matthew says if it's on ESPN, it's a sport.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know. You guys sound like you're making things up at this point.
Hold
More
on, I see it. Tom King in the chat. That's not the Tom King, the comic writer Tom King, is it?
Let us know, Tom King.
Let us know, Tom King.
By Hasbro. We don't know. Let us know, Sir Tom King. Morse code Z in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider says, I only have a stupid question, so I'll just say I loved the opening. I think that's a plan, only stupid answers. You loved the opening. That's good. That means I think it worked. I think the first person to comment on the opening.
There you go. So that we've got confirmation that the opening happened.
Wait, Tom King says, I'm the good Tom King.
Oh man, that doesn't help. I'm going to assume that you're not famous comic writer Tom King.
Live at the Roxy brings some great people. You don't know.
Maybe.
What's the good Tom King mean?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to make a dig at he doesn't like the writing of Tom King.
I don't think that.
Let's
all be friends here. Let's go back into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. Glenn says, DJ, what's your favorite weekday afternoon / Saturday morning cartoon of all time? And also, what's your favorite weekday afternoon / Saturday morning cartoon theme song of all time, if it's different than your first answer?
Oh, damn. Do you have an answer for this?
But
you're not a cartoons person.
I know I'm not. I don't know that I have one. Were Saturday morning cartoons when we were like, was this like, I guess I can't think of anything from our time, just from when I started babysitting, like Dragon Tales and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was Teletubbies. It was
those would count. I know for me growing up, the Saturday morning cartoons were stuff like X-Men the animated series, Spider-Man the animated series, a little bit when I was much younger, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Batman the animated series. I think for me, Saturday morning cartoon of all time would have to be, it would have to either be, I want to say Justice League Unlimited, although that was, it wasn't it didn't air on Saturday mornings or any of that stuff. It's just really good. I'd have to probably say something I actually sat down and watched on Saturday mornings would have to probably be like Batman the animated series. Because that's one of the ones that you go back and it's like still good.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah, it's like still holds up. Another one I was a huge fan of, although I feel like because it was one of the first CG animated series, I feel like maybe the CG wouldn't hold up, was Beast Wars, which I actually really liked and I thought was really solid. Theme song, the cool thing about old theme songs, Roxy, I don't know if you ran into this a lot since you didn't watch a lot of cartoons, but
growing up I did. I'm looking at this list right now.
What did you watch growing up?
But I didn't know these were Saturday morning because I guess I watched them throughout the week too. But Hey Arnold, Recess, Pinky and the Brain,
okay.
Rugrats. Was Dexter's Lab a Saturday morning cartoon?
Yeah, I would think so. If those other ones count, it says a lot about me that I immediately went to ones where people punched other people.
Yeah, Animaniacs. Yeah, I watched all of those growing up. Cat Dog.
Yeah. And the cool thing about, I think the thing that's always funny when you revisit those intros is that they are always significantly better animated than the show itself is.
They had the time. Yeah.
They poured so much money into those intros. I think the intro that still sticks with me, although Sam got me watching a newer cartoon called Gravity Falls, and that intro is really good. The intro that still sticks with me has to be the original Team NT Ninja Turtles intro.
I don't remember it.
It's like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Yeah. And they're like exploding out of things and everything's moving. And it's like that stuck with me.
I remember Move It Football Head. Hey, Arnold. I'm looking at this list. All Real Monsters. Yeah, I loved that. Darkwing Duck. Yep. Classic. What was Kablam? Was that a Nickelodeon one?
It was a Nickelodeon one. That was like an anthology where like some of them would be stop motion animated, some of them would be, actually I think they might have all been stop motion animated. That was Prometheus and Bob. Was it Action Force Now?
I don't know. Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, I watched that for sure. Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah.
I watched all of these when I was younger. Beetlejuice. I don't remember there being an animated Beetlejuice. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I did. I watched a little bit of that as a kid.
Dexter's Lab for sure. The Weekenders. Did you watch that?
Mm-mm.
I didn't watch that.
That was after my time.
Doug. I was obsessed with Doug, and I remember that.
That's another classic intro thing.
Wait, I want to see what they put as their top one. So 8, they put Pepper Ann, which I love. Pepper Ann, is she cool in 7th grade?
Yeah, I think that was after my time.
Let's see. Hey Arnold, they have as number 5. 4, they have Arthur. 3, Rugrats. This is best of the 90s, by the way. 2, Animaniacs, and 1 is Recess. Yeah, Recess was pretty great. Some good ones. I'll give it to them. There were some good cartoons back in the day. Good job.
Where was the? Did you just like age out of cartoons? When did you like, hey, this isn't for me?
You know, I always remember when I would babysit my little sister or anything, she wasn't even as into them, and I'd be like, let's watch Dora. You like Dora, right? Or like I would put on cartoons still. So I don't know. I guess, and I still like some anime. Like obviously, I loved Into the Spider-Verse. I still love some animated things, but not that many. I must have been in middle school.
Yeah, when you phased out.
I feel bad about it though.
Yeah, I mean,
why?
Not everything's for everybody. I do feel lucky that we're in this time, that we have all these streaming services, because like whenever I have little ones or whatever, I'll be like, I don't need to introduce you to anything new. I can show you all the cool ones that I grew up with.
Yeah.
And the ones that I was an adult. Adventure Time.
People having kids right now, they can just do that. Like, nope, not going to watch what you want to watch. Just going to show you.
I don't know about you. I have some friends that have young ones, and I'm so grateful that I don't have to juggle that right now.
That's so challenging. Yeah. Mutual friend of ours, Trisha Hirschberger, came on the show and was talking about that. Miss Movies yesterday. Oh my God, DJ, Miss Movies shared the saddest story. Do you know Miss Movies, Breanne Chandler?
I think we've met briefly when I did Schmodown stuff.
Oh God, this broke my heart. Her 9-year-old wrote a letter just about how sad she is.
What?
She was like, everything is sad. I'm sad with everything. I'm sad with the world. I'm sad with school. I don't like to do anything anymore. I don't want to get up. Like, it just was literally a 9-year-old. It was the saddest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, I don't even know what a parent is supposed to do right now. Like, I don't even know. What do you say? What do you do?
Yeah.
How do you do it? Just no. I also see in the super chat, guys, I can't find it on here, but on my other computer, Morse code said, I remembered wrong. It was Congress in 2011. It didn't go over well. I don't know. Was that in response to the pizza comment?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It must be. I don't know.
Yeah, he said about the vegetable. It went. So what? In 2011, they tried to make it a vegetable in Congress.
Yeah, and it didn't pass because it's clearly not one.
Because it's just blatantly straight up not a vegetable. Yeah. All right, Mr. Caesar also wants to know. He said this might be an easy choice for you, DJ, but if you could pick any special ability or superpower, what would it be? And for clarification, at least in the case of my hypothetical scenario, Roxy, yes, anything you're touching does teleport with you. So mine is teleportation, and I had questions about the logistics of it. Okay,
so anything that's touching gets to go with you, and you teleport.
Yeah.
So hold on. In your teleport situation,
yeah,
it's imaginary. You can be whatever you want. I don't know. I'm going to ask you this question, but is it one of those like you walk through a portal, or do you instantaneously?
I'm hoping there's not a portal, because I feel like that's limitations on where I have to do it to where I have to do it. I'm hoping that the teleportation is in me.
Okay.
And I can and I'm hoping I don't have to visualize the place. The universe just knows.
Yes. Like communication with the universe, and the universe.
Yes. And the universe just like gets me. Because if I have to be able to see the place or visualize it, I'm in big trouble.
And over unlimited amount of distance.
Unlimited amount of distance. And also, so like if I could teleport to a person, if I was like, oh, is DJ in trouble? I don't know where you are. Let me teleport to DJ.
Got it.
But that's a lot of different rules I'm adding to what teleportation looks like.
But again, it's a hypothetical scenario. You get to do whatever you want.
Mhm.
For me, when it comes to powers, I feel like the right answer would be flight, because traffic sucks, and I don't like flying in planes. It's one of possibly my least favorite thing on the entire planet.
Really? Are you scared? I don't mean that. I didn't mean like, are you
No,
scared?
yes and no. It's a variety of things. One, I'm too big for them. It's just they're not. They've made seats smaller and smaller, and now you have to pay extra money to just get normal. I remember when we were coming back from Sam and I went to Emerald City Comic Con in Seattle. I was coming back before him, and I didn't spring for first class, but I played a little extra for like extra class, whatever they. I got there, and I'm like, this is just the distance seat should be. I don't know why I spent extra money for this.
Like a normal seat,
3 inches of extra legroom. This should be how seats are.
Yeah.
So it's tiny. Like I know my dad deals with like claustrophobia, and I don't know if there's a little bit of that in me, but I don't like being in situations where I can't leave when I want to. So like if something goes wrong on the plane, I want to just be able to cool, I'm out. You know what I mean? Like in a car.
Well, if you could teleport.
Yeah, I could teleport, right? If the car was smoking, I could pull to the side of the road.
Right.
Situations like that.
It's not in your control. Like if you want to land the plane, you're shit out of luck.
So I just don't. The entire thing. There's so many stuff. Like a formative memory is 9/11. There's just so many things. I just don't like planes. I don't like being in them. I don't like flying. I hate the whole experience. I don't mind going places. The flying to them is a nightmare to me.
But let me ask you this, because the flying one is a popular answer.
But see, that's not what I would choose.
Oh,
that's the right answer, I think, but it's not what I would choose.
Oh,
what I would choose is super strength. I just want to lift a car.
What are you doing with your super strength?
Not a thing, Roxy. Not a damn thing. That's why it's the wrong answer, but it's what I want. It would make me feel cool. Like I just want to be able, and it's probably like, I probably get into so much trouble with it. Like I'd get frustrated with something and accidentally like rip a car door off or something stupid like that.
Like imagine just like you move your house, like you're annoyed and you like punch your wall and the whole house like shifts.
So the correct answer is flight, but I just always thought it'd be cool to have super strength. It maybe invulnerability could come with it. That would be cool.
I don't know that the correct answer is flight, because I think about this. First of all, are you also adding super speed? Because if your flight is just like you go like this and you start flying, you're slow as shit. How are you going to get to Boston? I mean, you're going to do that forever. You're going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
And like also think about, are you able to fly with a backpack on? Like what happens when you're sweaty? You got to change when you get where you're going.
This goes back to your teleportation thing.
Yeah, you got to make rules to your flight. You got to you got to switch to teleportation if you're just trying to get to places.
Yeah.
I've put a lot of time and energy into this. Going into the streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Fars Muthana says, I don't know if someone has said this, DJ. I love your Spider-Verse poster. So my question is, if they did the Spider-Verse in live action, how would you feel about it and how would they do it? Where did you get your Spider-Verse poster also?
That's actually not my Spider-Verse poster. That's Sam's Spider-Verse poster.
Oh,
and wow. You'd have to ask him where he got it, because he told me and I don't remember. Cool. But it is amazing.
It is cool. Yeah.
Like a Mondo poster? No, it doesn't say Mondo on there. I don't know, but it is super cool. It also glows in the dark, which is really cool. Yeah, I love it. And I love that movie. If they did it in real life, if they did it, or live action, excuse me, if they did it in live action, it would have to include Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland.
That would be insane.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I don't know who you would get as a live action Miles, because the voice actor did a really good job, but he is a grown man. He's an adult. So he would probably not be the first.
Do you have a dream cast of Miles?
No, I don't. I haven't thought about Miles a lot. I kind of hope that it takes a minute before we get to Miles. I hope we keep doing the Spider-Verse movies with Miles, and then we keep having kind of Peter in live action, because I think I think Tom Holland is, even though my favorite Spider-Man movies are the Sam Raimi movies, I think Tom Holland could be the best Spider-Man if his Spider-Man movies were Spider-Man movies. And I think I would like to see him get a chance to like be Spider-Man longer. And I like the idea of Miles existing in a universe where he doesn't have to, the way it is in the comics right now, like both Peter Parker and Miles are both Spider-Man. And I think that's dumb. I think Miles should be he is the Spider-Man in his universe. There is no, he can jump other universes with other Spider-Man, but he doesn't have to compete for the attention of another Spider-Man.
You're just trying to look out for him.
Yeah, I
like you're his publicist.
Yeah, I want to give him the room to breathe and be his own character. And I think the Spider-Verse movies, at least that one was so good. If we get more like that, I think that's the best place right now for his character to grow. So yeah, I don't know if a live action, what would be cool for a live action Miles, and I don't think we could get it, is it bums me out that we can't really get a live action Spider-Man series, because Spider-Man has so many cool rogues.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
There's just so much to tell with the Spider-Man character.
That even like a mini series or a 2-season anything like that, it would be great.
Movies are just too limited to do all of the things. But if you had a show, and it bums me out that we can't do that. And it's like, well, maybe if Peter gets the movies and Miles was able to get a show,
that would be incredible.
Just a place where he gets to shine, and we don't have to. But in a Spider-Verse movie, everybody's showing up. I think that would be really cool. I know Sam Raimi's supposed to be doing the Doctor Strange movie. If we could get Sam Raimi back to direct it, I think that would be great. But I'm kind of open. I know there was a rumor that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were supposed to make cameos in the animated one, and I would like that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think
because that's the only character that Marvel has. Like when we were talking about Super TV Showdown earlier, when we were talking about Crisis, there was an opportunity to bring in, because there's so many Batman and so many Supermen and so many The only character like that Marvel has is Spider-Man, where there's like of them that you could throw together.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think that though, I'm glad we got what we got. A live action movie could be interesting, but I'm just so glad that Spider-Verse was Spider-Verse. It was perfect. Oh, I love that movie.
I'm excited that I'm excited that Sony seems to know how great it is.
Yes.
Because I don't know if it blew the doors off. Like, it won an Oscar, but I don't know if it like made all of the money. I think
it made money. Yeah, I think it made money.
But it's cool that it sounds like we're going to get a Spider-Women spinoff.
Yes.
With Spider-Gwen and those characters. And like, there's so many cool opportunities with it. And it was so creative and interesting. That is like, as long as it's able to hold on to that, we're really lucky to have it. I think it's really great.
Going back to a previous conversation, Forrest says teleportation is the right answer. I appreciate you, sir. You see me. Nathan Wang just showing support. Appreciate you, Nathan. Thanks for being in here. More stuff going on in the Streamlabs. Let's get to some of these. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Let's see if you want to answer this question, DJ. Okay. I'm going to ask it and you answer how you will.
Okay.
Gingerbread says, DJ, what's your ethnicity, if you don't mind me asking? And of course, I'm also asking, what's your zodiac sign? I'm getting Cancer vibes.
I don't know what that means. And only in the conversation of the zodiac would getting Cancer vibes be okay.
Be an appropriate thing to say.
Yeah, man, I'm getting Cancer vibes from you. Really? Should I go to a doctor?
What does it mean?
It's weird. It's that I didn't get that question until I moved to LA. You know what I mean? Like growing up in Florida, it's like you're white. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you look white, you're white. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about people asking that question?
I don't mind it. I don't mind it. There was a weird situation where like I got a gig once and I noticed everybody else was like black or Hispanic, and I was like, you all know I'm white, right? Like I don't want to be coming in here like you all thinking like, oh, we're diversifying. It's like
I know.
I'm an American mutt. I'm like a lot of Americans. I'm a mix of a bunch of things. I think the reason the question exists is I'm a good chunk Greek and I'm a good chunk Irish, and I think that's what you get when you throw these together. I'm like 25% Greek, 25% Irish, 25% Austrian, and then 25% whatever else
other stuff is
left around. I did get a racial slur once when I was a young boy that my mom had to explain to me because I guess the person assumed that I was half black, which is a good example of how dumb racism is.
Yeah, that is
you didn't even get it right. But yeah,
you should write that into a script someday. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's
stupidity
real
of racism.
Yeah.
And then in terms of your zodiac sign, what is your zodiac sign?
Scorpio. I'm born in November. Is it Scorpio?
Yeah. It depends on when.
I don't know. Roxy, does the zodiac mean anything to you?
One of my good friends is always trying to send me my charts and stuff. I know that I am a Cancer.
Okay.
But I've got like a rising and a moon. I don't know what they are, but I do know that I think it's interesting, but people put too much weight into it. Like, oh, that's because I'm a Gemini.
Yeah.
It's like, you're a person.
I wonder if there's some sort of I was going to say rational explanation, but I shouldn't say it that way. An explanation that makes sense to me about how that stuff might work. Like, if it's cold, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know what it's not something that has any value to me personally, but I, like you, Roxy, I know some people that it means a lot to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if it helps you, it helps you, and whatever it is. Weston Ira says, "What do you guys think about Becky Lynch news?"
What is
are you a wrestling person?
I am not a wrestling person.
Becky Lynch, he said Becky Lynch in here, but I think he means Becky Lynch. I believe I saw that she's pregnant.
Okay.
Is that the news that you're referring to, Weston? Becky Lynch, also known as The Man. I think that's great. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would think that any celebrity being her and Seth Rollins are a couple. They're two wrestlers. They came out and said they were pregnant. I don't know that anybody would say anything other than congratulations.
It's going to ruin their stories. I don't know.
Yeah. So, yay.
She should wrestle while pregnant. I bet you that's a bit they haven't done yet. Are you a wrestling person?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that I really respect it. I like it when I watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up with a brother who was obsessed, so it was on sometimes. No, in the sense that I don't have WWE or AEW subscriptions. I don't pay for the pay-per-views. I'm not like up to date, but I think it's cool. So like maybe.
Yeah, I think the only aspect of me that is a wrestling person is Darren Aronofsky's The Wrestler is a movie I enjoy very much. And it really drove home the point that it's a physical bitch of a job.
Yeah, they say it's like getting in a car crash 365 days a year on your body. So,
oh my God.
So there's that. Garth Harkness Murray, he says, I'm a mutant. My mom was hemophilia, but my mom wasn't a carrier and it doesn't run in the family. So it's a mutation. But I'm the opposite of Wolverine and I heal slowly or not at all without factor 8 medicine. I would choose healing as a superpower.
There you go.
I was like, where are we?
Where is this headed? That's the interesting thing about like an X-Men. It's like all the mutants give you like cool, amazing stuff. In real life, if you have a mutation, it probably blows.
Yeah, I know. Definitely does.
Yeah, it's not
having to explain it to people too. It's just
it's bad. No. It's not going to be. It's not once somebody got a mutation. It's like I got an extra arm. It's like, and even then, it probably is like vestigial. It's like it's never as cool as it is in the comics.
No, just give us teleportation if you're gonna make it different. I know we got to get out of here soon, but I have a couple more. Are you good for a couple more questions, DJ? All right, great. Jake Yakoveta says, speaking of pregnancy, congrats to Kevin Smets, expecting a baby girl. Kevin Smets, movie trivia schmodown guy, a friend of mine, awesome dude. I didn't know that he announced it, but Jake, if you know that, then I'm assuming he did. So congratulations.
We're happy you're here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so happy for him. And I will say there have been a lot of pregnancy announcements in quarantine. It's got to be a very strange time to be an expecting parent. And, I like a little good news in the world during this time. So congrats to Kevin Smets.
Yeah, good for them. And
to Becky Lynch. Now we're just congratulating everybody. Garth in the Patreon said, DJ, I've missed watching Roxy with you and Sam talking comics, TV shows on Only Stupid Answers on Twitch. What are some of your favorite? It's like I paid him to write that. What are some of your current favorite comics and TV shows? And did you like the Watchmen TV series?
One, we miss having Roxy as well. Although again, it'd be weird. It'd be hard to do it right now. So like that kind of worked out. But Roxy, we miss having you. It was great doing that show with you. I don't miss watching the 7 hours of TV.
No, that was.
But I miss us talking for
I
like
miss it too.
2 hours that we.
I miss coming there. I miss. I miss Winona. I miss the Starbursts.
No.
I miss everything around it. I miss you and Sam.
She's right there. And you didn't get a chance to meet Bonnie, our cat. I don't.
Bonnie.
Think. Yeah, we got a cat. We got a cat in February, right before all this went down.
I'm really sad about that.
Yeah,
I'm happy for you. I'm just sad that I haven't met Bonnie.
Yeah, she's pretty cute. She's a little hellion. She fucks shit up around the house. But she's cute. She gets away with it because she's cute.
No, has Bonnie been peeing on furniture?
Bonnie doesn't pee on furniture. Our biggest challenge with Bonnie is Bonnie likes to go on the kitchen counters, and we're trying to convince her to not do that. And she doesn't getting the hint. We've laid the foil down because that's what your cats. We've sprayed her with water. None of it matters. She's very.
Bonnie doesn't care. Bonnie doesn't
care. Yeah, Bonnie's very determined. She is so incredibly food motivated.
Oh my god!
like it is insane. But awesome. To answer those questions, comics right now, well, obviously I haven't been really picking up comics right now, but I will give a shout out to Panel Syndicate, because that is a website started by Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martin, I believe, where they create comics, them and their pals create comics, and you pay for them whatever you think they're worth. So you could get them for free. What I normally do, because I'm pretty basic, is I pay the normal price for a comic, like $3 or $4. And you can, they're DRM free. You can read them on your phone. You can read them on tablets or whatever. Ed Brubaker just dropped a new comic called Friday, which is about a kid, and it's an adult story about a kid detective grown up. There's also Private Eye, which is the comic they launched with. So just there's options there for people that can't go to the shop right now or whatever. There's stuff that you can check out. What was the other Watchmen? What I thought about Watchmen, right?
We loved Watchmen.
I loved Watchmen until the end.
Don't break my heart. We loved Watchmen.
I thought the end was actually pretty weak.
You loved it.
And it made me. It kind of didn't sour me on the thing. It just made me. When he kind of said like we're probably not going to do more Watchmen, I'm like, I think that's fine. It's interesting with Watchmen, because recently, DC keeps going back to that property. And so we've had the Zack Snyder movie, and we've had on comics, we've had Doomsday Clock, kind of a continuation where the Watchmen characters interact with DC characters. And we had the show, the HBO show. And it was interesting how all of them, the Watchmen comic is basically like a big fuck you to the entire idea of superheroes. It basically is like, listen, superheroes are inherently fascist, and it kind of wants to deconstruct that whole notion. And no matter what the adaptation is, there seems to be this instinct to be like, yeah, but superheroes are cool. So what if, like in the Zack Snyder movie, so like, what if, yeah, these are kind of bad people, but what if they looked cool and they acted cool and they did cool things, and we reminded people that superheroes are cool? And then in Doomsday Clock, it's all about like the DC superheroes kind of redeeming the Watchmen characters. And in the Watchmen show, it's like, yeah, Dr. Manhattan obliterated people in Vietnam, but then what if he became like Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and he was like super sexy, and then he gave his powers to like Angela, and that's cool. And it's like, yeah, it's cool.
So you do think that she can walk on water?
I mean, yeah, and I think that's kind of the Watchmen. I think part of this is informed by Roxy. I don't know if you listened to the podcast that came out with the Watchmen show.
No, I didn't.
But Damon Lindelof in each episode made a big point about how his goal was that people would watch the show and think that it like matched up to the comic, like it earned the name Watchmen. And I think if it was its own thing, I would really I would have nothing to say about the series other than you should have told us who Lube Man was. That was a weird thing to drop in there and then completely forget about it by the end of the show. Mm-hmm. Other than that, I don't think I'd have anything to say. But with that notion, I don't think it lived up to Watchmen, because Watchmen ended in this place where you're as an audience member, you're in this complicated place of, yes, they saved the world, but to do it, it cost countless lives. And also it all might be ruined by Rorschach's journal, which is good because it's the truth, but it's bad because it undoes what was done. You're put in this very complicated space.
You're making me sad, DJ.
The show ends with a satellite drops on the bad guys, and the character you like gets god powers, and everything's kind of okay. And it's like, well, that's just not as morally complex a space to leave your audience in. It's kind of like a little wish fulfillment to a little bit wish fulfillment and a little bit virtue signaling, I think. Not to say that across the board, the cast was amazing. It was a beautiful show. The tone was great. The music was cool. All the components were cool. But if you say to me, like, does it live up to what Watchmen did? I think no. And two, it kind of can't. Like nothing that isn't, if you came out with like a Citizen Kane 2, well, it's not Citizen Kane. Like you just can't. It just, because that is what it is. You'd have to create a new thing. And that would have to exist in its own space. So I guess, long story short, I have mixed feelings about Watchmen, the show.
All right. Well, let's see if you have mixed feelings about food, because DJ has some food related questions for you.
Okay.
Not DJ does. Glenn has some food related. That'd be cool if DJ had questions for himself. I have questions for myself all the time. Here are 4 questions from Glenn that he likes to know from every guest. They're very important to him. So don't break his heart, DJ.
Okay.
The first one is, what is your go-to meal when you're feeling down?
Pizza and donuts are my comfort foods. I love them dearly. I've not gotten tired of them yet. They are not good for me. But
nothing's good for you when you're feeling down. You need that.
But I pizza number 1, donuts very close number 2.
Number 2 on here is, what's your favorite breakfast food?
Breakfast is my favorite meal, despite the 2 things I just said aren't technically breakfast food.
I feel like a donut is completely breakfast food. Yeah,
that's a good point. And I have had donuts for breakfast. And I guess people have cold pizza for breakfast. I'm not one of those people, but I do.
No.
But I do get it. Can you go wrong with breakfast? Roxy, are you a breakfast person?
I got to be honest, not really.
Okay. Well,
I love breakfast foods. I love eggs and pancakes. I love breakfast foods. I don't like eating in the morning that much.
Interesting.
Like, I don't like the time of, I don't know, I wake up and I don't really get hungry until about noon or 1.
Interesting. Yeah, I do not have that. I'm hungry. I'm hungry always.
I think it's because I eat at like 3 a.m. before I go to bed. So I wake up and I'm like, nope, I had a massive meal at 3 a.m.
Okay. That makes sense. For me, what is it? My favorite breakfast food?
Yeah.
That's hard to pick. I'll tell you the stuff I make that I like. The only time I really cook is in breakfast, and I make a really good bacon sandwich. I make a really good breakfast burrito with chorizo is my preferred meal. And chorizo is the only thing that I like to get the soy version of. The only thing I think that
why?
I think because it's chorizo and hot dogs. I think taste good as soy things because they're already almost not food.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
So they're already like a jumble of things. So if you just like, it's basically the same thing and it's better for you. So I usually make breakfast burritos with soy chorizo that I really like. But I'm a big fan of like pancakes and waffles.
French toast?
I do like French toast, but because I don't make it because it's a lot harder to do. Pancakes and waffles are like really easy to make, especially if you get the mix, and then the mix we get has like.
I might make pancakes for lunch today. Yeah, I've got bananas and chocolate chips. Banana and chocolate chip pancakes are so good.
Yeah.
Question 3, your favorite dessert. Would it be a donut?
Yes, I guess if you count it, man, donuts exist in a weird space, huh?
Yeah, because it's like they're breakfast food and they're food, but they're also like, how do you not call them a dessert?
Exactly, because they're primarily sweet. If not donuts, then I'm a big fan of ice cream. I normally have a little bowl of ice cream after dinner in the evenings.
Would you call a croissant a dessert?
No.
What if it was a chocolate croissant?
Yes.
Wow, weird, right?
Yeah.
Strange.
Chocolate changes the game.
Yeah, it does. Number 4 is favorite late night snack.
I try not to eat late because I'm a light sleeper. And so an upset tummy is no good for me. If I do, so it would have to be something light. So like maybe, or at least light for me. So like a pretzels, or maybe a little piece of cheese. Pretty boring.
Piece of cheese.
Yeah, a little piece of cheese. Something that's not going to upset the apple cart too much.
Fars Muthon, and I thought that we were going to get a question about this, says, DJ, what do you mean if Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies were Spider-Man movies? I'm curious to know.
This Tom Holland Spider-Man movies are, to me, way more interested in Iron Man than they are in Spider-Man. And I think that might be especially true of the more recent one, even though Iron Man doesn't show up in it. So like, I remember watching Far From Home, and I think because Roxy, you and I went to the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might've mentioned this after I watched it. You could basically take the same premise and make it about Robin, and it'd be the same movie, and just say Iron Man's Batman, and it functions the same. And that's not really most of the elements that I think it'd be like. I understand the instinct. I think the instinct was, listen, we've had a bunch of Spider-Man movies, so we can't do the same things. And I think maybe they overcorrected. And so now they've lost a lot of what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. So instead of struggling with the concept of responsibility and what he's responsible for, he struggles with, how can I be more like Iron Man? And it's like, well, it's just not as interesting. I don't think, because we've had Iron Man movies. And the focus on the tech and the suits is fun, but it's not Spider-Man. His pal, what's his pal's name? His buddy?
Whatever,
his pal is his guy in his
name. Yeah, of course, you're talking about. By the way, Fars Mython says, DJ, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, it's not that they're bad movies. I mean,
what's his buddy's name?
Yeah, if I feel like if I hadn't asked it, we would have known.
No.
I'll get there. We'll remember in a minute. But it's like having that person kind of short circuits some of the things. Like Spider-Man, part of his struggle is he's kind of on his own. He doesn't really have people he can confide in, and so when you give him that, it's like an escape valve for a lot of the things that help the character grow. So, and like in the Sam Raimi movies, Aunt May is like this rock that like teaches Spider-Man, Peter, how to be a better man and be a better person. In the new movies, she's just hot. You know what I mean? So it's they're more focused on his relationship with Iron Man, which I think was in Civil War, it's an interesting jumping off point, but it's become basically they had like 5 minutes in Civil War to like give you the cliff notes of who Spider-Man was.
Mm-hmm.
And they did a great job of that in Civil War. And instead of in his movies fleshing that out, they tripled down on everything. It's like Aunt May's hot in Civil War. Literally every time Aunt May's on screen, we're just going to talk about how hot she is. Peter looks up to Iron Man. Okay, the next two movies the villains aren't even going to care about Spider-Man. They're going to be focused on Iron Man. Oh. And so it's like you have all the pieces there.
You make good points, but I don't care. So good.
They're fun. The casting for those, and again the jumping off. I think the idea of Vulture hating Tony is great, and the idea of Mysterio hating Tony is great. But I think it would be interesting to me if in future movies we find a way that Peter defines himself more outside of who Iron Man is and who Iron Man is to him. And I'd like to see maybe Aunt May play a bigger role in that of helping him. And they've set it up. He's on the run. You know what I mean? So like he can't rely on most of his other support system. But like I'd like to see him get into photography. I'd like to see him, try and figure out like the line in Civil War where he talks about when you're able to do something and you don't do it, that kind of makes it your fault.
Oh yeah. That's
Peter Parker. That's Spider-Man. Like that's who that is. And he's not had a moment like that in any of his solo movies. And it's like that. I think that would bring out the best in Tom Holland as an actor. Rewatching the Back to the Future movies, you can't, because I'm a fucking nerd, I can't help but look at Michael J. Fox and think like, damn, he would have been such a great Peter Parker. And I think Tom Holland has a lot of that same energy.
Yeah, he really does. He really does.
So I think if you just let him, if you ditch the Iron Man stuff and you ditch the Avengers stuff and you just let him be Spider-Man, and you let him do Spider-Man things and deal with Spider-Man type issues, I think you could easily have, as much as I love the Raimi movies, I think you could have one of, if not the best Spider-Man movie. You know,
everybody in here who's letting us know, Ned.
thank you.
Thank you. Also, I like this. I haven't heard this yet. Aunt Bay.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Mr. Tomei is hot, but she also is a really great actress and can do really cool things.
She's very, very good. Going on in the Streamlabs, I think we have time for one more of these. So let's see. Glenn Caesar said, thanks for giving us a great show today, Roxy and DJ. This was fun seeing you both on screen together again. 2 thumbs up. I missed Super TV Showdown and hearing Roxy say, you ain't got the vowels from stupid.
Yes.
Always tried to beat you guys to it. Maybe one day we'll get another collab with you guys and Sam. Of course we will.
Yes.
We'll see in the future what that is, but absolutely, of course, we're going to continue working together. Thank you to everybody for joining us today. DJ, I didn't know if you were doing something with this, but somebody in here just said, I love your work on new rock stars. Are you doing new rock star stuff right now?
Not right now, no.
Maybe they're going back and watching
back in the day.
So what are all the things? What are you working on? Where can they find you? What can they follow? Where can they subscribe? All that stuff.
Everything Only Stupid Answers. So you can subscribe to our podcast, Only Stupid Answers. You look at that wherever podcasts are sold or whatever. YouTube.com/Only Stupid Answers. We're talking about Harley Quinn. We're going to be talking about Stargirl soon. Roxy, have you had a chance to check out Stargirl?
No, I haven't looked at it yet, and that's silly because I see it. It's in there. I hear it's very good.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Flash season 1 so far, just in the confidence.
We've got the first 3, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited about that. It comes out very soon, next week, maybe. Yeah,
next Monday, I believe. We're Sam and I we did our spoiler-free review. We're going to start doing spoiler reviews for that. But yeah, so DC Universe stuff. We've been doing like retrospectives on the Marvel movies because there's not new movies coming out for reviews. And that's it. If you're part of patreon.com/Only Stupid Answers, I think I might drop some teases of some of the personal projects I've been working on. Just to share them because I'm excited about them. But that's it. You can follow me at Twitter at DJ Talks Trash, or same on Instagram.
It's right below you because look how fancy we are. You're so fancy. DJ, thanks for joining me. I miss you very much.
I miss you too.
To catch up a little bit. And one of the first people to be in here where you pop in and I said, wow, I know that room. I feel like I know nobody's space. So it's nice to have the familiar space to see. Everybody at home, round of applause for DJ Wooldridge.
Round of applause for Roxy and her show.
Thanks, friend. And my tech savvy self. I'm not actually sure who's coming on tomorrow. There's been a couple of different things that have taken place, but we will have somebody, and I'll let you guys know later on Patreon and via Twitter who that person will be because of things that took place. That's a shitty way of describing it. That's what happened. But we will be here tomorrow live at the Roxy, 1 p.m. Pacific time. And everybody go follow DJ all the places he is. At DJ Talks Trash and everywhere else. Thank you again to DJ for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And I will see you tomorrow live at the Roxy.
Bye-bye.